was they were looking at the options of missions. Specifically, there was escorting a high-ranking politician. Now looking at it, it is escorting them to the city of Radiance. There is also a mission for, and all three are escort missions. One is to escort a potions dealer to a specific island that is on the far south of the planet, really. To look for a specific rare plant. Or there's also an escort mission to a place known only as the Grove, where you would be taking a Belhair priestess.
All right. So, I feel like after the chaos of the last mission, we should probably pick something that's a little more simple and, relatively important. I don't know. Does it say which do we have any name of the politician on the job board, or is it just cute? Is the job board itself quite vague?
Oh no, my voice is just everywhere.
Oh,
Edmund Becuro.
Ooh.
I'm butchering this last name, but it's fine.
Is it Akira?
Becquerel? Oh. It is a French name. I'm desperately trying. I'm sorry.
Edmund Bechamel. Got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing that too. All right. I guess would any of us necessarily recognize that name, or would I don't know, like a history check or something like, I don't know, something like that.
Give me a history check if you want to figure out who this guy is.
Yeah.
Can't
that's
be
a
done.
9.
If I could find a place to roll dice.
Beautiful.
I have actual dice.
That's a 2.
Dice!
Physical dice? Ugh, in this day and age? Get out of here.
With my plus 0 to history.
I have my yeet and oof dice.
That's awesome.
Oh no!
Here we go. 18.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Okay,
start rolling with this more often.
Okay, the two before you, no idea. Just that's a name. That's probably a noble.
Sounds fancy.
Now, Mako, you actually vaguely know this name through Merlin, actually.
Sure.
This is a very young noble. He's of Shibaxi. From what you remember, he's very into technology, probably some form of artificer or something, but more on the political side than getting his hands dirty sort of thing.
Sounds
you
good.
Also remember he, from your brief interactions, was a bit of a history buff.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't have the best idea of the world map. This is both in and out of character, but I suppose we can hope that the City of Radiance isn't terribly far away. So we were away from the.
It's not as far as the Grove.
Okay, and the south feels pretty far.
So, oh man, I found it in here a minute ago. Hold on. Radiance is. I had the map. Where did it go? I literally had to look up the map earlier. That was part of what I was searching for. It's in the notes. Okay, in notes on Discord. Radiance is in the Brightlands.
All right.
Which is, if you are able to find that, image, it is the little white area of the continent, dead center of the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most notably,
right, well,
the Brightlands is not a government. The Brightlands is just an area. It is white because it is unclaimed because no one wants it.
Yes.
Okay.
You said that was in the notes?
Yeah, if you go into notes on the Discord server, I just closed deep sadness. Come back.
Yeah, so we'll end up probably sailing south and then trekking across the desert.
Well, my wife did always say I should try and make an effort to get out of the city more, so I suppose I'm doing just that with the guild, so why not? Why not?
Does the posting say that there's a preferred vessel?
For travel?
Yeah.
It says travel accommodations are already taken care of.
Okay. Oh, are you hoping to do? I mean, even if travel is taken care of, we could do our own thing if you wanted to go off the beaten path a little bit. What were you thinking? Were you trying to meet up with some family or something?
I don't know. I was gonna see if Batul or Vakmu were available.
Would they be
'Cause they're
charging us?
they're
Because if
they're my
it's going to cost us
they're my
money, I'd rather.
yeah, they're my merchant cousins. You guys have met Batul.
Yes. Well, if it's going to cost us money though, or them time, I mean, because if travel arrangements have already been made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Well, we could. I mean, it's still a little ways down to the port, right? Oh no, wait, we're in a port city. Never mind. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
to
the
see
sea.
the
I keep
ocean.
forgetting. It's right there.
That ocean we
That being
never
said,
talk about.
Yeah, the
we don't
thing
talk about
that
it. Look at the other-
Natasha
all the
tells
time.
people to go see and no one goes and sees.
They say, people always say the number one rule is always turn your back on the ocean, and that's what I do every time. So yeah, I'm sure this will be fine. Hey, you know sailing quite a bit, Katasha, right?
Yeah, I've been in a boat and all that good
Okay.
stuff.
So seasickness is like super rare, right? Like it's probably not going to affect me at all.
Do rocks get sick? I understand if that's very insensitive. I'm just trying to I'm trying to understand.
I've been sick before, yeah. I mean, I'm not rocks all the way through. I'm just like it's like a rocky exterior, I guess. I can still get hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been proven throughout the campaign.
Yeah.
Yes, I can very much get hurt.
Kitosh hasn't been paying attention.
Well, okay, so yeah. Anyway, so sounds unlikely that I'll be getting seasick, which is good because that wouldn't be pleasant.
Would Kitasha know what the sea is like for that trek? Because it looks like it's fairly protected by land and shouldn't be too bad, according to the map, but
it wouldn't be terrible. However, when you did last meet up with your siblings, they were about to set off on their own trek.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not be able to get to you in a decent amount of time.
How rude. Okay.
However, if you were to send them a message for one of your other two missions that you potentially might take, you could probably have them meet up with you once you're done with this one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Okay. Since this is a reasonably far distance, we should probably get on sooner than later, because if we do encounter any delays on the journey, we don't want to hold up His Majesty? No. How do you refer to politicians? Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how people refer to them here. So couldn't quite tell you.
I mean, it depends, like, on the specific situation. Like, many politicians have titles. I mean, like, for just example, Merlin's dad is a politician, diplomat, and his title is daimyo. So I don't know.
Right,
Going off your history check, Mako, you would know that Edmund does not currently have a title due to he is not.
Is he not a landed politician?
He is
Does he
still
own
very
no
young.
land?
He's still very young. So while he is high ranking due to family status and such, he's not always treated with that as much respect amongst other politicians due to this.
All right.
Okay. Does the letter say when they plan on plan on embarking?
The embarking time is flexible. It says just due to the nature of getting a message to the guild. However, they have stated that if it was as soon as the mission is accepted, they should be able to embark within the next day. If you're choosing to accept the mission, you are to meet Edmund at his estate in the northeast section of New Dragon Rook. And there is an address provided.
Okay. Well, I mean, either way, it looks like we have enough time to get any of the any potions or herbs that would help with seasickness. We
could get that on the way. Sorry. Yeah, we could get that on the way up to the estate, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, or we might be able to sneak out and get it in port before getting on the ship. I don't know how all of our previous drivers have been really interested in getting us to where we need to go without any pit stops. So I don't know if they'd want to let us do some shopping before going.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe the market would be better. It's probably more likely to have things for seasickness down there anyway.
Really quick, while you're looking at, just so you know, there is a map that is laying out your, basically how you're going to be traveling. I would briefly like to get an insight check from each of you to see if you can figure out a vague thing on how you'll be traveling.
That's a 10.
The 17 for Kitasha.
Mm-hmm.
My insight is a +1. It's a 9.
All right, Mako, you're not quite so sure, but for the other two, looking at the map, it looks like you're actually going to be land-bound for quite a bit of the journey. It appears that you're going to be going around the continent you're currently on, going towards the right of the continent, and then you're going to cross the sea into Alistair, and then continue on land from there into Radiance. So just from that, you shouldn't be too worried about the seafare. Though you're not entirely sure how much time this is going to take, because you're looking at it, you're realizing it's quite a long distance.
Well, in that case, we better potentially even start today. Get on the road as soon as possible. All right.
Well, if we're going to be on land that long, it also wouldn't hurt to grab some extra supplies. Even if
like
this,
horses?
no matter how well funded, no matter how much money he has, this politician, he might not prepare well enough. So I say we meet up with him first. Maybe see what he has planned for the trip, and then do some shopping.
I think that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, let's speak to because also we need to make sure he's actually ready to leave today as well, because it's relatively short notice.
Is it morning, by the way? What time of day is it right now?
It is currently. What time is it? I believe it's midday, going off of where we ended last week.
Okay. So even if we were to leave like the same day, we'd be traveling at night.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. Ew. Gross. But yeah, Kitasha will because I don't think we've had a full chance to like rest up after our last mission.
You had your downtime section.
We had downtime. Okay. Gotcha.
So you would be fully this is you have everything from your level up. You've got full spell slots back, everything like that. You just spent a lot of the downtime section discussing Mako's love life. And then we blitzed through the rest of it because we were running out of time.
Mm-hmm. Did we level up?
You had leveled up before the ARC mission, and then any additional items and such that you would have gotten with your level up, you would get at this point.
So we're still 6. We're not 8.
No.
Okay. Phew.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go see the politician, man, and then check in what his plans are and how, because for all we know, they might have appointed a fancy carriage for all of us, and we might be sailing through it the easiest time of our lives.
Mm-hmm. You had enough?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. As you take the mission from the board and you begin to make your way out, you see once again a nice brassy bronze little automobile waiting outside for you. They always know when you need them. Inside is a scarab bug. Wow, man, my brain is dead. What is that species? David, help me.
A scarab beetle?
Thrycreen, thank you.
Oh, Thrycreen. Oh, okay. Yeah.
A beetle?
A beetle, yeah.
I just
Another
was
word
sitting
for
here I know this D&D species. I've been talking about them nonstop throughout the campaign. But yes, there is a scarab Thrycreen sitting in the driver's seat, and as you all pile in, he holds his hand back.
There's somebody got the address.
Yeah, Kitasha will, as the first, instead of letting Mako handle all the paperwork, Kitasha will give the letter to the Thrycreen.
Thrycreen will take it, look it over briefly, and hand it back to you, and will speed off at breakneck pace.
As we're traveling along, instead of playing music like Kitasha normally does, she is just casting prestidigitation on every invisible speck of dirt on herself. And if she can manage it, she will also sneakily do it for Joe and Mako as well.
But to clean? You mean like to clean off?
Yeah. Can't trust you two to clean yourselves properly, so.
Wow.
That's not very nice. I definitely am clean. Probably. I comb my hair with Mage Hand. Is that fine?
Yeah, I've seen some of the with that swoop thing. I've seen that on the street. I'm sure that's becoming popular.
Well, my daughter thinks I'm very cool, so.
No, wait, hold on, no. Is Joe just you with your homeless chic, as people call it?
No, he's not. No. He wears full armor.
The unhoused millionaire look.
He's very put together.
Mm-hmm.
He is cracking at the seams. He is not put together.
He is definitely cracking at the seams. But no, he wears like reasonably nice clothes. His hair's tied back in a pretty nice way. He's alright. He's alright.
Sure. Alright, as you're traveling through the city, once again you take into account the fact that the Threat Queen seems to know immediately where other drivers are without even seeming to pay attention. Just perfectly weaving in between each other. Just very, you've never really heard of a car accident happening before. The Threat Queen just seemed to do it well. It's almost like mechanical in the way that they move. But who are you to judge? As you pull up to an estate that you believe to be Edmund's, you see that it is a large, sprawling thing, white and gold fencing, tall, probably 8 feet tall fencing around the courtyard, and there is a elderly tabaxi waiting for you at the gate entrance. He has very light gray fur. It's coming down in eyebrow patches that come down and cover most of his eyes, and he's got kind of the tufts, like a good old mustache coming down.
So he's serving Pixar Dad.
Yes.
Okay.
Joe will step forward to this guy and offer him a handshake and say, "So you must be Edmund."
Oh, good heavens, no. Excuse me if you got that impression. I am merely a servant of Sir Edmund. I am here to greet you and escort you into the estate. I assume you are from the guild, if I may see the letter.
I guess one of us will hand it over.
Yeah. Kitasha will unfold it and hand it over.
Oh, thank you, young lady. Yes, perfect. Let us enter, and he will wave a hand over a magic seal that's off to the side, and the gates will swing open.
Very nice.
And there are fountains going off in the courtyard. There's, it's perfectly symmetrical. Fountain on either side. You're walking to perfectly manicured lawn, up to this huge, just white pillared house that really does not fit in with the rest of the aesthetic of Dragonrook. But, rich people be rich.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Kitasha didn't recognize the name, being on the property, would this be a place that she had potentially been at before?
Potentially. maybe once or twice. There's quite a few nobles that you would have spent some time around and then such. So you potentially would have been in here maybe once. But it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if there's any like delightful, tasty tidbit like areas that Kitasha would remember. I'm happy to roll for it too, so.
I didn't prepare for any of this. Give me a history check.
What do you mean you didn't prepare for any of this? An 11.
You vaguely remember maybe being here for a party once. But, it was so long ago. However, you think that might have been one of the last times you had your necklace.
Okay. So Katasha has like a look of recognition and then just like a face of light scrutiny. Because that would have meant that this is one of the last parties she went to. So she will I'm assuming there's like displays and gizmos and gadgets galore, like lining the hallways as they're going down.
Oh yes.
And Kitasha will like run her fingers along a table, or will like touch something that's hanging, like a knob on a lampshade, or like hanging crystals or something like that. Just kind of wistful and scrutinizing at the same time.
Makes sense. As you guys are continuing on walking through, the servant who was leading you through has been kind of mumbling to you, at you. You're not really sure. You're getting snippets of, this is young master, this is, and you know, this is, and you're just like straining, like, what are you saying? I've missed half of this. But as he leads you to a large room, he will walk in and announce, the adventurers from the Scrambling Claw Guild have arrived to become your escorts, Sir Edmund. And he will turn to you and bow and walk away. As you look into the room where you can see quite a few suitcases already packed and ready to go, as well as quite a few trinkets and a couple of what looks like mirror contraptions? You're not really sure. You see a very young Tabaxi. Late
like a
teens.
child? Okay.
Late teens.
Oh wow, okay.
He is the type of cat, it would be a chartreuse. Very ashy gray fur, and as he looks at you, he has very bright amber eyes. He will.
That's awesome. I'm googling the cat now.
He will.
Joe is going to be bowing this straight away.
He's a politician, not a noble.
Joe doesn't understand the difference.
As he turns to look at you. Oh, good. Oh, most excellent. Hello, everyone. Yes, and he'll like stumble around and he accidentally knocks something over and he's catching it. Puts it back. Looks back at you. Hello. You three must be
Hello.
from. I'm Edmund. I put the request in. What are your three's names?
I'm
Mako Kyako.
I think you both introduce yourselves at the same time, so Josh is like leaving a breath.
Yeah, Edmund's just like looking through.
And just like waiting for Mako and Joe to kind of like fix their mistakes. Seeing it's not happening. Katasha's just like very easily getting back into the groove of what she's done before. And what size wise, how big is this child?
Not very big. He's maybe 4 foot.
4 foot? Okay.
Yeah.
So Kitasha will do like a low sweeping curtsy in a way that she like lowers herself and extends out a hand to shake. I'm Kitasha.
It's a pleasure to meet you. This is very exciting. Okay. So you all must be wondering why I was needing an escort and all of these things. I have much exciting work that I'm trying to get approved. But first, Sarah, before I go on my spiel, is there any questions you guys have for me or anything? Can I? Oh yes, go ahead.
There's probably some questions which can even wait till we're on the road, but I guess the first one would just be: are you happy to leave, possibly today or tomorrow? The sooner the better.
Oh, I believe. Yes. Now that it's accepted, I think my tickets should be able to be applied for tomorrow's train.
We're taking a train.
Well, yes, it's quite a distance, and there's that fabulous new land bridge that they've created over the bridging the continents. So we'll be able to take a train, and we'll be stopping in Alistair to refuel, and then continuing on to Radiance.
All right.
Kitasha does like a frozen smile, just like a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes at the mention of a land bridge. Not even a hope of getting on a boat.
Okay, well this is good news. Trains are one of the coolest inventions that have come out lately. So, all right, I did have a question on why you might require an escort, because before we set off, I just want to make sure there's everything that needs to be said is said. So, are we expecting danger on the road, or is this just as a precaution?
Well, you might think me silly, but I've just had a constant feeling for the past couple of months like I'm being watched. I've had really no reason to think that I would be, but it's just been kind of a nagging feeling that's just been getting progressively worse. And it is quite a long travel, and we're going out to a convention that is being held in Radiance, where quite a few other technological politicians are going to be meeting, where I'm going to be displaying some of my findings and ideas that I have in ways that we could improve, all of our societies. But yes, it's just, I don't know, it's just a feeling and a precaution. It should probably be nothing, and honestly, it may just be me paying you to take a lovely trip out to Radiance and get some travel in and go on the train.
Well, that sounds fine by me.
All going well.
With Kitasha's passive insight of 19, I'm assuming the mirror contraption would be the one thing he's really trying to push at this convention. Okay. Kitasha will then gesture towards the mirror, like this here.
Oh yes, so that's kind of the main focus that I'm having. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of the Sunforged steel and how that was. It's pretty old stuff. It's not really. Most of the techniques have been lost to us, but it was this incredibly well-forged steel that was said to have only been used by using the heat from the sun itself and using this wonderful section of mirrors and something or other. I've been working through what little knowledge that I've been able to gather on it, but I was realizing that perhaps we could use this instead, not the Sunforged steel, but their technique of using the reflection of sunlight and increasing the power of it, and somehow we can harness that to use as a alternative energy source. It's, we are burning a lot of things, and as I'm sure you've seen between the sky here and the sky when you go out of the cities and into the forest lands, that we've created a large amount of smog in the air, and I fear what that could do to, both our physical plane as well as the barriers between planes, if that could start to cause damage to it. But I think, if my hypothesis is correct, that we should be able to take this idea of the Sunforged steel and the ways that they did this from what I've been able to gather, and if anyone else has any information on it that I maybe do not have, that we would be able to harness this more solar power to help better things along and give us better energy sources.
This would make huge advancements in certain areas of technology if this does indeed work.
Potentially, yes. Which is why I
Does it work?
In theory.
Is that why you're going to the desert then?
Well, partially. To kind of show it and to... It's really more of a conference to discuss things and to maybe procure funding between us, and then to see if we can pool our knowledge together and get some test runs going.
Sure. Absolutely, okay. This sounds...
Is this going to be like a worldwide, like a world fair? Or?
We've got quite a few politicians coming in from all over Kalanine. We have quite a few, I guess, yes. I think we have people from quite a few corners of the world coming in.
Can anyone enter? Like, could I enter? Or is that? I don't want to brag, but I made a pretty cool robot dog.
Can I just say right now, what is everyone else's passive insight?
11.
Joe?
Mine? Oh, it's gonna be 10, I think, if that.
Kitasha, you are watching this kid fumble, trying to think of the most polite way to say, you're not high enough standing in
You're not
world.
rich enough to join our club. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit more
members only.
Yeah, Kitasha will put a hand on Joe's shoulder to just kind of like, because I'm assuming Joe is like getting real eager and is like moving into this child's space. And Kitasha would just kind of like put a hand to like stop him. Well, Joe, a lot of these events take time. It's entirely possible that their registration is completed.
Yes. Yes, we do already have. I mean, you will be joining us in the city at least, so you might be able to see some of the things that everyone else has brought in. But participation, probably would not be applicable for you to enter at this point.
That's a shame. Okay. Well, I can show you at least on the road.
Yes. That would... Sure.
What arrangements other than the travel have you procured?
Oh,
Do we need to...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
That's all right. Do we need to purchase our own food and drink and other such mundane necessities?
No, everything should be taken care of on the train, so the way that, from my understanding of how everything's going to work, is I have rented us... I apologize, I'm realizing now I should have maybe seen if I could get more rooms. I had gotten a personal room for myself, and then I had gotten a shared bunk room for the guild members, but I'm realizing now maybe I should have waited to book the tickets, but then it would
It's all right, I assure you.
Oh, all right.
I can bunk in with you. That's no problem at all.
They've done better with less.
But yes, the food is all provided on the train. They provide all amenities such as that. The main thing is that all weapons will be put away into storage. So that it would just be something to keep in mind. Just so that there's no fuss about it. Say if we're trying to get, onto the train near the end of booking and suddenly someone finds a dagger somewhere and, you don't want to cause a whole hubbubaloo. But, yes, all food, and there's also several bathing accommodations within the train, which is quite fascinating to me how they get that set up. But...
All right.
Yes, I think everything should be accounted for there, and then we will also have drivers once we reach Radiance. So if I believe I have the itinerary correct, we should be traveling for the first 4 days, and then we will be stopping in Ouster, the port city there, where they will be refueling and giving us a moment to stretch our legs outside of the train. And then that night we will all reboard and spend another 4 days, and then we will reach Radiance at that point.
That sounds pretty smooth going, actually. I do have a slight concern that if anyone were to be targeting you, we, without weapons, might not be able to protect you as well as we could otherwise, but I'm sure we can improvise in this moment.
Yes, I'm sure it wouldn't really be that big of issue. I'm sure it is just, imaginations, fancies of a young mind, But I trust that you are all, at least somewhat versed in hand-to-hand combat if something were to happen. And then I'm sure that, if need be, I'm sure there must be some way to get into the cargo bay of the train.
All right. Sounds reasonable enough.
I think we'll be fine. I personally have not traveled by train. Is there anything we should bring along to make the ride more enjoyable? Are there any activities planned aboard, or do we need to find our own entertainment?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. to be frank with you, this will also be my first time on a train. I believe that the dinners are all set in kind of little dining rooms together in kind of grouped cars. I'm not entirely sure if there is much in regards to entertainment other than whatever you bring along, so maybe some notepads or something to tinker with or anything of the like might be good to bring along.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, there's some things I could definitely bring to work on while we're there. All right. So this sounds pretty straightforward, and I'm sure we can get to know each other better on the journey itself once we actually commence. I suppose, is there anything else that you'd like us to consider or bring, or just anything else that you yourself might think it's worth bringing up at this point? Because if not, I suppose we can just reconvene at the train station tomorrow.
No, I don't believe there's anything I can think of. You're the adventuring lot. I trust that you'll know what should be brought. We'll have plenty of time to also restock on supplies in Alistair as well as Radiance if need be. Yeah, I don't think... No. Nothing I can think of, at least. Should be all set. And then if you want to, I believe, let me pull up and he'll go over to the table and start looking through some pages before he finds a train ticket stamp. And he's looking at it like, yes, okay. So we should leave bright and early tomorrow at sunrise, about 6 in the morning. So we should be good to travel then if you would like to meet me there at the train station probably a little while before dawn, just so that we can make sure that we get all packed up and onto the train safely before it departs.
All right. And I'm sure this doesn't need to be mentioned, but are we also to be returning with you?
Oh, yes. That was the plan. I did book the way to and from, since I figured I wouldn't want to leave you just stranded in Radiance for you to find your own way back. And sometimes procuring the tickets for the trains can be quite difficult, so I already have that all set as well. The conference should only be 2 to 3 days, and then we will hop back on board the trains and make our way back.
That sounds great.
All right.
I believe we have a few more hours while the shops and the market are still open to get what we need. And are we to meet you here bright and early or at the station?
Oh, let's go ahead and just meet at the station. Here. And he'll hand you one of the ticket stubs for the train. If you give that to one of your Thrycreen drivers, they should be able to get you right there. Should be able to pull up to the correct station and everything. So.
Okay. Sounds lovely. We will see you tomorrow morning then.
Excellent. Thank you so much for accepting this.
Of course. Did your father used to throw parties here?
Oh,
or
yeah,
mother or any other sort of parent?
Yes, they did it for a while there. They would throw a couple every once in a while here. It's been a little while. Father's health hasn't been great, but he's on the mend, so he might throw some more soon. Were you in attendance at one of these parties?
I think so. And it may, although his health is deteriorating, it may do him some good to have the halls full again.
Yes. I believe we're all going to there's a... I can't... My apologies, I'm always awful with names. I can't quite think of their name, but there is some big shindig gonna be going down a month or two from today, that I believe we're all going to as well, which should be quite good for him to get up and about and out with people once more.
Is this Lady V something?
Yes. The one I told you,
Lady Vandas or something like that?
It's the same,
Vespawind, okay.
Yeah, Vespawind. It's the same party you assume that she is going to be attending. Because it's, again,
a bunch of rumors and hearsay?
Yeah. Okay. But around the same time frame is when you heard from the shopkeep that she would be attending a party.
Okay. Well, we'll take our leave then. Katasha will do another very low curtsy, and instead of reaching out to shake, she is just going to do a forehead touch down type of flourish, and then will turn and walk out of the room.
He will bow to you as well.
Seeing clearly a much more experienced person with, royalty or pageantry, Joe will imitate the curtsy as best as he possibly can. Assuming that this is the commonplace way of, saying goodbye to a politician.
The cool facade that that Edmund is trying to keep cracks a little bit as you see almost a snicker appear on his face as he nods a bow to you as well.
Perfect.
Still killing it with the children.
What's up, fellow kids, or whatever the meme is?
Yeah.
How do you do? How do you do?
How do you do?
Kelly, you've never sounded so old.
That's what I'm going for.
Fellow kids, or whatever that meme says.
All right. I guess once we're outside out of earshot, Joe will say to you guys, he seems pretty nice.
He clearly doesn't know what kind of parties his parents used to throw. And Katasha will climb into the car.
Wait, you not elaborate at all?
She's just climbing into the car. You can follow.
Yeah, Katasha just said that and went straight into the car.
Michael will get in next, or no, I think Michael will get in last so that Joe's sandwiched in the middle, and Michael will say, "Well, I don't think you would have been old enough to be invited to those kind of parties."
What kind of parties are we talking about?
Yeah, he would have been fairly young. I don't think it's been at least a few years. He would have been far too young.
Yeah. No, they usually like to keep the younger kids out of it a little bit, at least until they're older.
Oh yes, once they hit an adult age, they usually give the option for the child to be slowly introduced to such things, but a child like that, no, he's too interested with the gears and the books to really pay attention to what's around him.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. He would have tipped really good, though.
This entire conversation we're talking across Joe and not acknowledging his questions.
Joe nods as if deep in thought. Just agreeing with everything that's being said.
Well, since we will be stuck on a train with him for several days, I think it's time for me to get
could throw a party.
A new set of clothes. What, Joe?
We could throw a party. if he was never invited to those parties, we could throw one on the train ourselves. So I try to stay character as hard.
I just love that Joe has yet to clock any of this. It just so happy.
Joe with his passive insight of 10, of course.
Yeah.
We're being dodgy as fuck. Yeah, I think he's still too young for those kind of parties.
Oh, you're never too young for a party.
Kitasha will like stop smiling and really look at Joe. Right now she's trying to assess like, has he been introduced to these kind of parties like from a very young age?
Wait, do you guys not do birthdays? Is that
so? That's 29 for insight with a natural 20.
Joe has no idea what you're talking about and is trying to be like, oh, you know, like tea parties or birthday parties. And you realize that right away that he has not ever clocked any of the stuff you and Mako have discussed.
Oh, you know what? I guess seeing your expression change, Joe might say, I've made an error. Okay, I misunderstood. I think I've come at this conversation the wrong angle. This was political stuff. All right. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
That's kind of correct, but
yeah, there were a lot of political machinations at these parties.
Yeah, there were a lot of politicians at these parties.
Like lock eyes with Joe for that, and then like look slightly over at Mako, and then just like do the turn, and then just forward hands on lap, silence, making a mental tally of everything she needs to get, but it can't be the wrong kind of things for this train ride.
To focus on the task at hand, then what might I will imagine I'll bring some books, some gadgets to work on, things like that. But other than that, should we bring anything in particular? Like do we want some fancy clothes, perhaps?
I imagine so. Given the kind of event this is going to be, I would expect we might blend in a bit better if we're not in our gear when we're actually at the event.
Smart. All right.
Well,
I think it might be prudent.
We'll also need traveling clothes.
Right. But it might be prudent to get a set of more formal clothes, particularly ones that may conceal any gear we may have on underneath.
I have a really misshapen suit back at my brother's place. Well, it's actually a suit. We just share the suit. It's one that we share between us. So it's kind of, we got one a couple sizes bigger just so that we wouldn't, we could grow into it, I guess. Anyway, I can probably wear that. I can probably get like a chest plate under there or something.
All right. I just realized what I have to do. So I was trying to think of like, how do I get like a dress for Mako that will conceal her new leggings without like being really weird and falling wrong. And so now I've realized that the correct answer is to get her a dress with a large hoop skirt, so that when she jumps, she can float down like Mary Poppins.
Let's go.
You know it.
Biggest crinoline for the largest hoops, like a pancake tutu.
It's gotta be the hoops gotta be tearaway though, and just in case we get into an actual fight.
Would it be a hoop or would it be because I guess a bustle would also work.
Just a very large would be bustle. More era appropriate, I believe.
All right, yeah.
And Mako, I'm assuming has digibrate legs.
Yes.
Where the knees are backwards, so having that extra room in the back would probably help.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I pulled up the pricing for everything. So since we didn't get any like pre-trip stipends to prepare for this trip, Kitasha can get clothes for herself. And maybe traveling clothes for Mako and Joe.
I still have most of my money, so I can get my own clothes.
So I've currently got 20 gold. Was that including? I don't know what everyone else has. I don't know if it's roughly the same.
10 gold.
Yeah, Kitasha's got 24, but that's only because she gave away, I think, half. She gave away 10 or 20 gold back to the family fund.
Have we been? What we paid for the last mission? Was that included in that?
So that would have been the I guess you wouldn't. You did one. You got upgraded.
You're pointing at somebody. I don't know who you're pointing.
Sorry, Ellie.
Yeah, I got upgraded. Yeah.
You got augmentated, so you would have spent all of your section of the gold.
Okay.
I guess no one else got weapons or any equipment, so you would have a decent amount left over.
Yeah.
It should be plenty to buy whatever you need for this mission.
All right.
I also, Michaela,
all right. In that case,
I might get you to send
set of clothing.
Could you send me the thing of the augmented legs about like the description of what it does? Because I don't think I haven't actually done that on my character sheet yet, so I can do that in between.
I think it's in the main chat. I just don't know if it was put in
I might
season 2 or season 3.
You got legs, right?
Yeah, I got legs.
I will send it to you individually as well. Then.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in the main chat there, but yeah, that's fine. That works.
I'll just post those while we're talking about it here really quick in the notes section.
While we're on this, actually, Michaela, I'm going to send you my draft for Michaela's or for Mako's thing. Let me know if you think that sounds fair and or needs to be adjusted.
No, sounds good.
All right.
Excellent. All right. Well, as you continue your drive, what types of clothes are you thinking of you're all going to get? Let me hear it. Let me hear. What are your traveling clothes and what are your fancy clothes?
If Kitasha can find it, her traveling clothes are going to be a lot like the general clothes from home, which is pretty much just like a giant rectangle of fabric.
Yes.
With, like big poncho energy, but that she'll like fold in such a way that it'll be a dress. So it's going to be very much like the traditional Grecian and Mesopotamia type look, where it's just a big square or a big rectangle that just happens to be belted. Fine clothes, though. I think it's going to be I don't know, because I want it to be Victorian mixed with like home. So it might be like a Victorian dress, but it has like crazy pops of color instead of it being just like one shade or maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
There's just gonna be a lot of like patterns.
A lot of patterns, maybe some in the bodice, maybe some wave patterns mixed with some floral patterns somewhere, and
yeah, there's not gonna be any embroidery in it, but the fabric itself is going to have like really thick patterning on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it would probably look more like a chevron, so like more angular waves and stuff like that. And yeah, but it's going to be a lot of like golds and purples and blues.
Excellent. Yes, give me these mental images for me to later draw. Mako, what are you wearing? What will you be bringing and wearing and buying?
All right, so I'm definitely going with a bustle skirt, as like the style for the dress.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want it to be like barely large enough to like fully seal my new leggings, but not so large that it's like in the way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come out with like colors and other styles later, and then for traveling clothes, I'm thinking just like a plain like jumpsuit kind of thing, sleeveless.
Mako totally totally spies it up in here.
Oh, that's a show I've not thought about in a long time.
Oh my god, she's bald. She's bald and she's it's all the women who have hair.
Yeah. Beyond that, I don't think I need anything. The only thing is how many how many shells is fair for me to be able to carry? Because like the leggings got 6 in them. This is gonna be a longer journey. Should I have more reloads, or should it be like this is like I get to reload it once per mission kind of thing?
You can bring, because this is a longer mission, 2 full rounds. So you'd have 12 additional shells.
Okay.
You'll have a total of 18 shells for your...
Sounds good.
I just love the hops. It's great. I'm good with it. Oh, that's why. I had a brief moment of what's new in the chat. It's because Elliot's spell refueling ring was posted in the Lost in the City chat. Spoilers.
Still need a better name for that campaign.
Alright, is anyone donating some of their money to help Joe get outfits?
Yeah. If I have leftover.
I'm pretty sure Joe just decided to tag along with Mako and Kitasha as they went to get clothes, and then eventually they just kind of like shoved him into a fitting room with like big rich aunt energy, like just shoved him in there with some clothes in hopes he knows how to put them on.
Alright, I'm gonna, I guess, pose this to the party. What does Joe end up with?
In my head, going with the aesthetic, I was kind of picturing tails. So like a 3-piece suit with the coattails and a cravat, and other fancy things, like going all out into that like steampunk aesthetic. But I'm down for feedback. Maybe that's what Joe opens with, but then you guys course correct.
Yeah, I think Kitasha pulls out a lot of like billowy outfits, ones that would be comfortable while being like out at sea. So she might pull pants for him, but what I really think she would do instead is get like a longer tunic and then a dinner vest and maybe like a cravat or an ascot to like go with it and some really tall boots.
Don't you think they're just going to think I'm a waiter with this?
Oh, just try it on. You said you're good. You said you're one with the trends, so let's see how you do this.
Well, you caught me there. I am. Yeah, you'll try it all on.
I think Mako's main addition to it would be to insist on the innermost layers being some variety of like silk or something like that in order to not accidentally catch on Joe's like rougher skin. Something like a high thread count silk, so that there's no like accidental snagging and tearing.
Okay. I think no matter how much effort you put in, there's an element with Joe of just him he just stands very awkwardly in it. It's still like it's not natural to him, at least not yet. At least not without some guidance.
Yeah, and Kitasha is very Kitasha just wants Joe to feel comfortable in the clothes. So she will pick out ridiculous things at first just to get Joe in a headspace of like, I'm gonna look silly no matter what, so I'll just like have fun with it.
First is the Ken's outfit from Barbie, the in the film, just the neon lycra, just to really start off strong.
Oh yeah, the full length cow print fur jacket with hot pants and
Oh no. And I think for traveling clothes, Joe will settle into just like going all the way in dad energy, just a bunch of like, cargo pants and polo shirts and just all of the stereotypes you can think of. He brought a pair of jorts in case it gets hot in the desert.
No, the jorts have made their way back.
You can't escape from the jorts.
Surprise jorts.
We've already discussed that Joe owns a pair of jorts. No.
It's it's gonna get hot in the desert. You got to be prepared for these things.
As you go about the rest of your day, is there anything else that you guys want to pick up?
I'll pick up Hercules, certainly.
Just like throw him over your shoulder, or
fireman carry him?
No, like from my brother's. I assume on the downtime he kind of hangs out at my brother's place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kitasha will go back to the guild to check mail. To see if Shaz and Spags sent her anything.
You have not received a letter yet.
No letters yet. And then she will kind of go to their shared rooms. And we'll just kind of like pull out a folded letter from her left breast pocket. Looked at the cracked seal. And we'll just kind of like flip it open and flip it shut. Before putting it back in her pocket and beginning to write.
She begins to write. Okay, what is everyone else doing?
I think spending the evening at least just with Joe will spend the evening with his family, showing off his new outfit, and telling them where he's going to be gone, and that he'll try and keep in touch, and maybe there'll be a sending stone or something he can use. But yeah.
Your daughter thinks the outfit is to die for.
Yes.
As in she would die in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mako, how are you spending the evening?
I think I'm going to be spending the evening trying on and calibrating the veil, which is the name of her new leggings. They're the Valos Agility Enhancer leggings.
Yep. Beautiful. I love it.
Because Valos names every single one of his inventions after himself.
It's true. As Valos must. We
As
know
all
this.
great inventors do.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right.
The thing that I was imagining with these is that because they're not just the little barrels on my calves like boosts. Is that they're whole leggings and they have similar construction to a compound bow, and so they allow me to store energy kind of while I'm walking. I got a mechanical exoskeleton on my legs.
Perfect. I love it. 10 out of 10.
All the more to do jumping with.
All the more to jump with. And as the night comes and you all prepare to sleep and go and lay down your weary heads, I would like wisdom checks from the party.
All right.
Let's go.
Just checks, right?
Just checks.
Oh, checks. Sorry, not saves.
Hey,
okay.
That's a 19.
Yeah, 17 for Kitasha.
Why'd you make me reroll?
Oh, Joe.
Today's been rough for Joe.
All right, so Mako, blissful black nothingness. Just sleep. Kitasha, you have dreams of dancing with a high elf. Just dancing through the night. Joe! Everything is on fire.
Even the new clothes.
Everything is on fire, and you can feel handprints of fire just all over you. And you can almost see a face in the flames before it disappears.
I think that'll be a cold sweat wake up for me.
And boom shakalaka, it's morning. But not too late. It's still dark out, so you still have time to make it to your rendezvous at the train station.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah. Kitasha will be digging through her pack to try and find her wax seal stamp. And she finally finds it and seals the letter that she wrote with a stamp that looks like a frog, and will put it out to be in the post for the day before leaving. And I will send you the letter.
Yes! Me hype, knowing details no one else does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Whatever. Yeah. As you guys, I assume, go up to your next car to get to the train station altogether, unless there's anything else anyone else is doing beforehand.
If the cafeteria is open, Kitasha will like steal some food for the road.
Totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's 24-hour. You're good.
Oh no, not a plaid pantry.
Yeah. Was there anything from Makeover Joe before heading out?
I don't think so.
All right. As you reach the car, inside is a little June bug. And he holds back his hand. And wait.
Ticket stub.
Yep. Kitasha will hand over the ticket stub.
Okay. He'll look over it, hand it back to you, make a little chittering sound, and then off you go. In the still dark morning, lights dance past you as you pass by the, flames of little oil lamps still hung in the streets. As you start to approach the far, far corner of the city, far northeast, past the house you were in just the day before, and you see the long trek of train tracks begin to appear, and the beautiful amalgamation of gold and bronze and silver that is the brand new train. And the beautiful station made of red brick and nicely poured cement, and it's just so nice and smooth and unlittered and ungraffitied. Isn't that nice? What's that like? And as you approach and come to a stop, you can see in the distance, up on the end of the tracks and up on the platform, you can see Edmund. And as you leave the car to approach him, that is where we will stop for the night.